Brother, this is full aluminum. What do you mean break this over my knee? I would break my knee. So today's keyboard is the Neo60 Core. This one is pretty insane. I think it's like 80 bucks. It's like $80. It's kind of crazy because I felt like Neo has always been somewhat affordable, but now they're going even more affordable. And so I guess that's what the Core is. It is a 60%. And yeah, I mean, starting price is like $79.99 if you go for plateless. And if you decide to like get a plate, then it goes up to like $100. But the most expensive configuration you can get looks like it's $135. So this is going to be different from the CU. The CU is mostly known for having like the copper or the brass bottom way. Price point wise, this is going to be, I think, the cheapest of the two. Once again, it has a dual mounting system, so PCB gasket mount, meaning you could do plateless. And then they also have a ring mount. There's silver, gray, black, teal, gray, gold, navy, purple, red for anodized, and it's pre-coated. You have white, retro white, and nebula. So 11 different colorways. I have the anodized red. So, Neo60 Core, standard, no blockers. The two side bezels are going to be thinner than your top and bottom. You do have a very, very slight lip. I don't know if you can see it, but it's a very, very slight lip right there. Pretty simple top piece. Here's the side, also a relatively simple side piece. So it's interesting because you see the seam right here. It's actually not. It's a continuous, right? So this might look like two separate pieces, but this is actually one piece. So you just got the square, and here is where I mentioned the little slight cherry lip. And then here's the back. This is a very Neo design, you know, circle designs. Overall, relatively simple back weight. I want to say this one is the golden, but you have black, silver, golden, copper, mirror finish, silver, golden, dusk. So you have the 4 feet right here. So this is interesting because the feet actually go around the weight like this. I feel like usually when you see feet, you kind of see them like off doing their own thing, but it's been incorporated this way by actually framing the back weight. And then here's the USB port. So you see the branding again right here, the Neo logo, and then here's the front lip. For the price point, as we already know, this is a very simplistic board. It kind of feels like Neo's version of a tofu. Not to like, you know, say it's a bad thing, but if I look at this, I would think tofu, right? It's not necessarily a bad thing. For the weight, looks like there's 6 screws keeping it on. You have this accent weight piece right here that's actually magnetic. You have your 2 internal weights to prevent any like weird resonance that are held in by 2 screws each. Looks like this does have a ribbon right here, but you never really have to interact with it. And looks like this is also where you would hide the dongle if you got the wireless. But you can see the 2 magnet pieces right here, and then there's anchor points on this weight to keep it in place as well. So not only do you have anchor points, but you also have magnets, and then this would then go on like this. So weight does have an orientation, as you can see here. Pretty neat way of hiding the USB dongle is they've made this into like a thin chip so that you can press it down, because there's actually a cutout right here that you can either use your fingers in or you can press it down like this. Take it off like that, and that's where the dongle would be. It's basically just one piece. So it's interesting because it's a relatively simple design, but they've added small things here and there to really kind of like elevate the design. So for example, like they could have put the feet just as like regular circles, like right here, like by itself, but they've actually made a frame for the weight, and then incorporating this weight also as like the USB dongle hidden spot. Pretty clever. So even though this is like their version of like a cheaper board, there are still some things that they've done to make it seem like not just another tofu. So it looks like here's everything you get. Stabilizers, I have 3 plates. Looks like the board has 2 mounting styles, and then the mechanism, it says it uses a lock and pull mechanism and magnetic connectors. So in terms of the PCB, looks like there's 3 options. You have a tri-mode hot swap, a wired hot swap, and a solder PCB. PCB, no flex cuts, pretty standard. Looks like you do have a couple of layout options, so you can split the left and right shift. Also, IC support. You can do step or regular caps lock. Does have indicators. You can split the backspace. Here's the back. So it looks like no physical reset button. You can see the pogo pink connector, no per key RGB. In terms of bottom row layout, you do have 6.25 or 7U. So we have 3 plates here. I think total Group Buy is offering is 5 plates. So carbon fiber, aluminum, FR4, POM, and PP. Looks like I have POM, FR4, and Alu. No flex cuts, not even like on the hard versus the soft. Looks like they're all relatively the same. No actual like mounting tabs on the plate either. You do have the little cutouts, and these are for securing into the case. Here you have the cutout for like if you have the wireless PCB. Simple plate, simple PCB, simple case. You have phone here. These are the feet for the board, and they give you 2 different colors. So depending on which one you get, you can pick what color you use. This looks like the O-ring, and then PCB gasket mount, which would be in here as well. So this is a pretty soft O-ring. So it looks like the O-ring and the gaskets are both 30. So you have this O-ring, and then here are the gaskets that would go on the PCB, also 30 euro. Similar to what we've seen from the Neo line, it's like these dumbbell gaskets, one side being completely flat, and then the other side having the nipple. Looks like for mounting points on the PCB, so it looks like 10 mounting points, because you have 2 on the side as well. So it essentially go like this. So just like this. And the orientation of this one does matter. If we look at the case again, you can see with the mounting points right there, you see how it has this indent? That would mean that the nipple part would go down right here. So you can see the mounting points or like the O-ring post points, which means that you would have to use clip-ins, but then you can also see the PCB gasket points. Now let's just do this. Let's just jump into it. Spacebar rattle is not something you really think about until after someone tells you that, you know, it doesn't sound good. It's kind of like you're not aware of it until someone points it out. So for example, like, oh, you guys are gonna hate me, but like your tongue. Like you're not aware that your tongue is in your mouth until someone points it out. Then you're just like, oh wow, now I'm painfully aware my tongue is in my mouth, you know? The presence of my tongue. this is the Neo60 Core, so not to be confused with the CU. I've seen some people make comparisons between the Core and the CU, but they're completely different, so it's a bit hard. As for like which one you should consider buying, it depends. So with the Core, it's going to be more budget friendly, and then this is theoretically a singular piece of metal. There's no like top and bottom piece, so it does not come in different layouts as far as I know. I think it's just like the plain 60, like no like HHKB or anything like that. If you want the different layouts, you would have to then get the CU, which will have it, right? Yeah, I think between like this and the Photon, if you wanted just like a cheapo injection molded one, Photon would have been a good choice. But if you wanted something like more premium feeling, then this one is a good choice because it's, you know, mostly Alu. But yeah, I really do like the way they incorporated the feet, right? So you can just take it off like this and just put it on. It frames the weight. Very nice. So this has two mounting styles. PCB gasket, and it also has O-ring friction fit. So both are technically friction fit, but there are no case screws, and everything you do, you pull it from the top. So I don't have the tool that they're supposed to include, but here's something cool. If you look at the plate, right, you see that circle? This circle? So you would remove those two keys. So it would be these 4 keys you would remove. You'll actually have a tool that will hook onto this, and then you can like pull it out. So you can either use the tool to hook onto this to like pull it out, or you can do what I've been doing is you just kind of like pull it out slowly from the top because it's friction fit, right? So you should be able to just like pop it out like this. So you can do it either way, right? But one thing they have incorporated is adding these 2 circles on the PCB end plate. Here you can see the O-ring posts, right? So if you use a plate, you can use the O-ring. If you do plateless, it's only gasket. If you're building this, one tip I got, at least with the gasket, is to put the top first and then slide it in because it's friction fitted for both O-ring and for the gasket. However, it's weird because with the gasket, there's a chance that they could like flip or they could misalign. Theoretically, they shouldn't, but in the event they do, I've been told that doing it from the top and pushing it down is better because I was doing it from like the bottom down and putting it in like this. With O-ring, it's not as bad because the O-ring is just one singular piece that you have to worry about. If the friction fits in, then you're good. Whereas each of these individual gaskets, it's something you kind of have to be aware about. Say you friction fit this in, right? There's a chance that like if you don't do it correctly, it could end up like this, like folded down, or it could end up like this. Having this anchor point should help align it, but you know, sometimes shit happens and there's a higher chance of error with these gaskets. So if you're building this, I'd say O-ring is probably going to be safest, but these just slide off pretty easy. And then for the O-ring friction fit, doesn't actually matter what side you put in first. I typically do bottom first, but the O-ring, if you've never built with O-ring before, it just goes around the PCB. So PCB and plate like this, boop, 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 like that. Yeah, so you just friction fit it in. And it should stay in, but that's what I mean by the O-ring is one big piece and you don't really have to worry about it folding too much, whereas like these gaskets are individual parts. They're also a lot smaller. So I'd say the hardest thing about this board is getting those to be like set in place. My POM plate was experiencing some ticking with the space bar, but the other plates were fine. It could be I'm not putting the gaskets in, like I'm not aligning it correctly, or it could be something weird like the keycap or the plates hitting the case, but it's hard to say. Mine came with the stainless steel battery compartment fillers, but if you buy the solder, it comes with foam fillers. So my configuration is actually going to be more expensive. It's like $5, okay? Okay, I was about to say like, oh my god, watch they make you pay like $30. No, they're only $5. So if you buy solder, it doesn't come with the weights. You'd have to buy it separate. If you buy wired PCBs, you get the stainless steel. But if you buy solder, you only get foam fillers. So this is actually already like fulfilling. Already available now. So if you buy it, you will get it within a few weeks. no waiting. But that is built. Very good value for the board. I feel like QWERTY keys and Neo have just been like knocking it out of the ballpark. I did like this board. I think this is really premium for the price point. That's the build though. Thank you QWERTY keys, thank you Neo for sending it out to me. We're done!